This episode is proudly sponsored by Lawrence Plumbing and Heating. They're based in Coventry and they are a full bathroom renovation specialist. All plumbing, heating and tiling jobs are undertaken by their team and they're that good, I even got my own bathroom transformed by them. Give them a follow by searching lawrence.plumbing.heating on social media.
I wouldn't say I started to recover. I think I went from one eating disorder to another, but it is what saved me. So I kind of wanted to use that to then go into my career, basically. I had that for a very long time and I actually thought that nobody knew. So I thought, if I wear oversized clothes, I'll pretend that I'm fine, like no one will leave a notice. Ended up getting a first. I ended up with an award at my graduation because of what had happened to me, because I basically didn't turn up. I got told I was going to get chucked off this course and I kind of turned it around. Exercise is like the best thing that you can do for yourself, because you're just proving yourself that you can do hard things. You're setting yourself up for life, basically. You meet some great people doing it. Like, I've met some of the best people doing in the fitness industry, and it just gives you another purpose.
How will you know if you can feel yourself start to slip again, or will you notice it? Hi Anna.
Hello.
Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you.
How are you feeling?
Yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah, you seem it.
Yeah.
Actually, some people say that then they get nervous, but I'm not getting that from you.
I am a little bit nervous, but not really. I'm excited because I know it's obviously going to help people with what I share, so it's more exciting, I think, than anything.
Well, I'm really looking forward to chatting to you anyway. And you've bought me some flowers,
Uh-huh.
which I wasn't expecting. I've already took a picture of them so that they'll go onto my Instagram.
Aww.
That's really kind, so thank you for that.
That's okay.
So our listeners may have a good idea of you and who you are and what you do anyway.
Yeah.
But for those that don't, obviously you've shared your story and shared some of the struggles that you've faced and obviously all about your business now. But for those that maybe don't know who you are, could you give us a bit of an insight into you and your life, and then we'll go from there?
Yeah, so I'm Anna, nearly 36. I own Core, which is a reformer Pilates studio. I've had that for 2 years now, and prior to that I was a personal trainer. So I've been in the fitness industry for 10 years in May, actually,
Wow.
which is exciting. Yeah, I don't actually feel that old, but yeah, a whole decade. And yeah, I've got a dog that I love. I've got a fiance. Living the dream.
And you're just Anna.
Yeah, I'm
Lovely
just Anna.
So Core then,
Yeah.
I've never been to a class, but all of my friends have.
Yeah.
The reason why I haven't been to a class is because I'm too scared that I've been rubbish. But
Just don't come to mine.
Well, how did that all come about then?
Yeah, so when I was, so I lived in Dubai and I kept having a reoccurring hip injury, and I actually went to a acupuncturist quite a few times and I was never getting better. And then when I come home, I was looking for a Pilates studio for quite a long time, and then I think in 2022 I found a lady that was doing one-to-ones in Kenilworth, and she used all the apparatus, so like the reformer, the barrel, the chair. I started with her and I absolutely fell in love with it, and I could really see the benefits of it. So I had no injuries when I was training, which was amazing to me because I'd always feel like little niggles and stuff. And then because I just love learning, I just decided to go on a Pilates course, basically, because I wanted to know how she basically came up with the plan of what I was going to do. So like, as a personal trainer, a lot of people want to get stronger, they want to get fitter, and when you learn about it, it's quite easy to grasp. So like, you put more weight on, or increase the time and detention, whatever it is. And I just didn't really understand the methodology behind Pilates. So I went and learnt it, basically. And then I bought a reformer because I wanted to be good at my reformer exam. And then I posted on my Instagram story once I'd qualified, if anybody wants a slot. I think I had like 2 reformer clients because most of them were PT clients. And I loved it, but it wasn't my everything. My PT was my main business, and I had Vita Meals at the time as well, which was a food prep company. Yeah, so had my toe in everything. And then at the end of 2020, what year are we in? 2023? 24? No, 23.
Yeah.
Steve had messaged me, who was my previous business partner,
Right.
asking if I wanted to open a Pilates studio. And I was a bit like, that's a bit of a question, you know, like it just off a whim that was. So I was a bit like, oh, I don't know. We met up and then I was like really excited about it. Then we found what is now obviously Core, went to view it and I was like, wow, I mean, like it's a wow
It looks
place.
beautiful,
And then it all happened so fast, like, and then we opened in the January and me and Dec had actually booked a holiday for a month to Bali. So I think we got it in like the end of September, transformed the place, and then I went on holiday for a month and then we opened on the 8th of January. That's how it happened. There was no plan, like there wasn't like a dream. I mean, you could say it's my dream because I did want something like that. I wanted something that would attract a lot of women to move their bodies, you know, in a way that they loved. And I loved building the brand, but it wasn't like I'm going to own a reform studio and I'm going to do this, this and this. So yeah.
It sort of just fell into place.
Yeah.
And it's doing really well, isn't it?
Yeah, it's done really well. Yeah. I'm still overwhelmed by it now, to be honest. It's never really gone that quiet. We've had the same members now that we've had for 2 years. The community is like next level. I've never met such an amazing group of people. Like I absolutely love them. There's no negative people. Like they all walk in and make friends, like in their classes. Like I actually think some of them like each other more than they like me now. One of them's like, I just come to the classes to have a chat now and I just forget about the class. And yeah, we do events, over 60 classes a week. So yeah, it's doing really well. Yeah.
Well done, you.
Yeah, thank you.
I think I've watched it from when it first opened. Like obviously I followed the social media and I've seen it grow, and your branding and do you just do all the social media for that? It's really good.
To be fair, I actually didn't really know social media that well before I had Core, but I remember I'm good friends with Susie, you know, Susie G. I remember when I opened Core, she helped me with the launch video. Our friend James Sullivan did the video.
I know him as well.
Oh, do you know him as well? Yeah, love him. So she helped me with the just creating a reel. And then she gave me tips and tricks and stuff as I was opening. And then obviously you just learn as you go. And the more time you spend on Instagram, obviously is a bit overwhelming sometimes. But the more time you spend, you can kind of grasp your industry and what does well and what doesn't. I just basically create stuff that I want to watch.
Yeah.
There's no
But you are your target audience anyway, aren't you?
Yeah. And that's why I think it does well as well, because I live and breathe it, which then obviously I know how to attract it. So, yeah.
And it's working.
Yeah, thank you.
So fitness industry, you started off as a PT. I remember years ago, a couple of my friends actually was it a JD gym?
Yeah.
You were PT in there. How did you get into the fitness industry and why?
About 15 years ago, I had a very bad eating disorder. While I was at uni, when I was doing a degree actually. So I got mine a little bit later in life. I got mine when I was 19, and once I started to get better, I kind of wanted to use what had happened to me to impact other people. So I remember coming home one day I worked at Boots actually at the time. I remember coming home one day from Boots and I said to my mum oh, I think I need to be a dietitian. Because obviously dietitians they're not nutritionists, they're the people that help you in a hospital. I think I want to be that, but because I wanted to use what had happened to me to impact other people. And then me and my mum actually went to Coventry Uni and had a chat with the dietetics. They had said basically you needed to do 4 years. It's obviously like a doctor's degree kind of thing. You need to do a year in the hospital. And I was thinking of all these years and I was thinking, God, I don't think I'd already done a degree. And I thought, I've already done 3 years. I don't want to do another 4 years. And then I was like, I'll just become a PT. I just said, I'll just become a PT. And my mum was like, yeah, I think you'd be really good at it. Because the gym saved me, as sad as it sounds. I think when I started to get better, the reason that I started to lift weights was because I actually turned up to Pure Gym one day and I was going to a body pump class, because obviously at the time you think body pump's going to make you skinny. And there was nobody turned up to this class, and there was this PT there, and he was like, oh, I'll give you a free PT session because there's nobody here. And he showed me weightlifting, and I really liked it. And then I signed up to him. I started to get stronger. He educated me on food, like protein and macros and stuff. I started to get stronger and I fell in love with it, basically. And then in turn, I actually started to recover and started to get better. I wouldn't say I started to recover. I think I went from one eating disorder to another. But it is what saved me. So I kind of wanted to use that to then go into my career, basically.
Wow. The element of what you've said, even with you went to a class with an intention, but you actually came out with knowledge, which has actually built you and built your career now.
Yeah.
19, as you say, it is quite late.
Yeah, it is very late.
To start suffering with that.
Yeah.
Like, how did that come about? What happened?
I started going to the gym with my brother's previous partner, and the first class I ever did was a Zumba class. I don't even know if that's still.
I do Zumba twice a week.
It was
love
you!
It.
Oh my god! I actually seen it on your story, and I thought Zumba is still around.
Yeah,
I
love
believe it.
It's not like salsa dancing, the one I do though. It's like twerking and stuff. It's great.
Nice. I could imagine you twerking actually.
It's good fun.
Yeah, so my first class was a Zumba class. Anyway, and then I spent quite a lot of time on the cardio equipment, and then I had a partner at the time, and I started to lose a bit of weight, and he said to me, you can't lose any more weight because people will start to find you attractive. And like, as soon as he said it, my head, I don't know what it was, but something in my head flipped. Like I stopped eating basically, and I wouldn't leave the gym until I was burning like 1,000 calories on all of the cardio equipment. And then I got worse and worse and worse. And yeah, and then I had a very, very bad eating disorder. So I had a mix of anorexia and bulimia. So at the time they called it eating disorder not otherwise specified, because you didn't hit the border of one or the other.
Right.
So I wasn't thin enough to be diagnosed with anorexia because I would binge, and obviously then I would purge. So I had that for a very long time, and I actually thought that nobody knew. So I thought, if I wear oversized clothes, like, I'll pretend that I'm fine. Like, no one will leave a notice. I think what made me realise I needed to do something was I was not going to uni at the time, and my mum got called in with me by the head of department, and they basically said if she doesn't turn up, she's getting chucked off this course. And I thought, oh shit, like, I didn't even know they didn't notice I wasn't coming in. Because at the time I was getting up, pretending I was going, because I was still living at home.
Okay.
I'd like pretend to eat my breakfast. My mum would go to work, and then I would go to the gym, all day. So I'd get up, go at like 10, and probably finish the gym at like 3. Like, can you imagine me in the gym for 5 hours? Like,
no.
That's absolutely nuts. Yeah, and then I'd come home, and basically when they called my mum in in the uni, and they said it, my mum didn't need to say anything to me. I just thought, oh shit, I need to do something, otherwise I'm going to mess my life up. And then I still didn't go to uni, but I did do all of the work that I needed to do. I did my dissertation, I did all my coursework, and I actually then ended up getting a first. I ended up with an award at my graduation because of what had happened to me, because I basically didn't turn up. I got told I was going to get chucked off this course, and I kind of turned it around, which I'm actually very proud of to this day. But I was still really ill at the time. Like when I look at my graduation photos, I look horrendous. But I don't know what the turning point of me getting better was, because everybody says, when did you get better? And I'm like, I actually don't know, because I went to the doctors and I said, I'm I think I've got an eating disorder. I'm not that sure. And the doctor knew, because my mum had been speaking to my doctor about it, and I didn't know that my mum knew. Well, obviously, she did know, but she never said anything to me because I was a really angry person at the time. Like, if anybody came near me to eat with me, talk about food, I'd get really angry and defensive. So I didn't think that anybody knew. So when I went to the doctors, they actually transferred me to Coventry Eating Disorder Service, which I went probably like 3 times, but you get counselling, you get told how to eat. And I remember just seeing these 2 girls and they were like, oh, they're trying to make us eat a banana. And I was like, I'm not eating a banana. Like, it's got too many carbs in it.
Right.
So I just left and then didn't go back. And again, I pretended I was going and I wasn't going.
Yeah.
And I think probably what made me better was the gym, basically. I think getting stronger. I think when you lift weights, it kind of teaches you that you can do hard things. Like, you get stronger and you build in muscle, but you're building something in your head that is like a mental strength as well. Like, you don't meet anyone. I've never met anyone that lifts weights and doesn't have a good mindset around everything in their life. Do you know, like they're strong mentally, they're strong physically. And I think that is just what helped me, to be honest. I wouldn't say like when you recover, you fully recover, because I think it's an addiction, basically. So like, eating disorders are the same as alcoholics. They are the same as gamblers, you know, like they're just a different disorder, and they're 100%. All mental health issues. And obviously eating disorders actually kill people more than any of the other mental illnesses, because unlike gambling and unlike alcoholics, like, you can't go cold turkey because you die. Like, you can't starve yourself to the point of like, I can get better, because you need food. You can do that with drink, you know, like, obviously there's different things, and, you know, there's different, they do need drink once they get to that point. But I think it's so hard with food because you get so scared of it, and it becomes the coping mechanism that you don't know how to get out of the coping mechanism. You don't know how to not be scared of it because you need it.
The statement that boyfriend at the time, like, if somebody is listening to this, you wouldn't have seen my reaction, but I cannot believe that another human being said that to you. So prior to this, so you're in this relationship, prior to this, had you ever struggled with like your weight or eating before this?
Yeah, I think when I was at school, I was in like the chubby girl group.
Right.
Which, yeah, I think there was like a few of us. And I did know I was chubbier compared to like the skinny girls, and it did bother me even when I was at school. I think I can even remember being in France with my parents and wearing like an oversized t-shirt, and I was 10.
Right.
You know, because I actually thought that I looked fat. So I wouldn't say I was like completely oblivious of my body for my whole. I think I've always probably had that. You know, it's bothered me a little bit because I was a little bit overweight. My mum's Italian, and she, you know, like, she likes to feed you. So I think that obviously bothered me a little bit, but obviously not to the point of like I was going to do anything about it. I didn't have that kind of mindset. And I genuinely don't know what happened of that person saying, you know, like, if you lose any more weight, someone's going to find you attractive. I don't know what happened in my head to then think, right, I'm going to go on this downward spiral, because like, someone could take that comment and just be like, oh, you know, like, whatever. But to me, it feeded years of being horrendously poorly.
It's a really, really hurtful comment. I'm so sorry that happened, and it shows the impact that it had, you know. And yeah, some people may hear that and might bat it off, but that would really upset me. And the majority of people that I know would be affected by that. So with that, you're sharing that you then thought, right, you've said this to me, it's hurt me, I'm going to do something about it. But then it sounds as though this then spiraled for you. I know that you mentioned that you didn't feel that other people knew that you were with what you were going through. Did you notice, did you think at times this is becoming a problem?
No, I genuinely thought that what I was doing was normal, and nobody would have ever noticed that I was unwell. So like, I've got two best friends, and they, like, obviously you want to go to Nando's and, you know, go to the cinema and stuff when you're younger. I used to, because I was so scared of food, I used to pretend I was asleep and not go. So I'd
Right.
say that I would go because I like didn't want to let them down, but then I would pretend I was asleep and not turn up. And it was only years later that I actually found out that they used to phone my mum and be like, "Is Anna okay?" Because they knew what I was doing. They knew I was ill.
Wow.
But I genuinely thought that nobody would know I was ill. So if I wore baggy clothes, like just went about my life like normal, like no one would know. There was no Instagram at the time, like, so you wouldn't be able to tell if someone, you know, like sometimes you can sort of tell if someone's not okay on their Instagram. There was none of that. Yeah, I just went about my life and didn't think anybody would ever notice. I had a job actually at the when I was quite ill, and it was in an office with a group of women, and I would only eat like really healthy food. Like I'd only take like really healthy food with me, and like they would make comments on it like, "Oh God, you can eat a chocolate bar," and though even that really, like, that sent me into a downward spiral as well, because I'd be thinking like, why are they being so mean? Even though
Yeah.
they probably wasn't. Like if someone said that to me now, I'd be like, yeah, I can eat a chocolate bar, you know, like I
Yeah.
wouldn't overthink it. But at the time I was a bit like, why are they being so mean to me? And I ended up leaving that job because of those women, because I kind of thought it was like bullying at the time, because there was so many comments about my weight or me going for runs or my exercise and stuff, that it really like triggered that as well.
Hurtful comments.
Mm.
It's unacceptable.
Yeah.
What you were told, but then how, you know, you were perceived by others, and what people may think is a flippant comment can really hurt people.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And people need to be more
Yeah,
aware
yeah,
of their
yeah.
words.
I've never really thought that I'm attractive. Like I didn't think it when I was younger. Even when he said it, it wasn't like, when he said it, it wasn't like something in my head like thinking, God, I need to be attractive, so I need to starve myself.
Yeah.
It was almost like I must have related being skinny with being attractive, and that I had to be then be skinny, because he
Right.
obviously commented on my weight and what I looked like. And I obviously thought, well, I have to be skinny to be attractive. Like, I would never, a lot of people think you're attractive because of your face.
Yeah.
Like, to me, and I probably still think it now, which sounds awful, a lot of attractiveness to me is the body than it is your face.
Yeah.
And I think I've always related it to that, like always, which is mental, because like you look in someone's eyes, or like, you know, like it's them as a person, it's not the body shape. But to me, for years, it was like, it was everything to me, I think.
How long did it last for? So, you know, you said you can't pinpoint like a
Yeah.
categoric moment where you were better.
Yeah.
But how long did this illness or illnesses last for you?
Yeah, so as I said, I got really poorly when I was about 19, 20.
Yeah.
Then I think that whole PT journey happened when I was about 21, 22. And then I'd say like I had bulimia. So I had binge eating bulimia all the way up until when I was started PTing, which was when I was like 26. So that was like 5 years later. But when I entered the fitness industry, and people that have known me for a while will know what I'm talking about now, I did a photo shoot.
Right.
So I entered the fitness industry, and at the time bodybuilding was quite a big thing.
Yep.
So I didn't really want to do a bodybuilding show, because I didn't have the confidence to be like, I'm going to go on stage. I just didn't have the guts to do it. So I thought, if I do a diet prep to do a photo shoot, like that will be part of my marketing, and that's kind of like what's expected of you in the fitness industry. Like I need to look like I'm ripped with a tan and have photos to be successful. So I did a photo shoot prep, which lasted like 4 months, I think it was. And it was the worst thing I could have ever done. Like, the worst thing. So not only had I been suffering with an eating disorder, I then went on a prep that like cut out carbs, gave me loads of cardio, had to get up at 3 a.m. to grind, go on the Stairmaster. And that was for about 4 months. Anyway, so I did the photo shoot, and I mean, I wouldn't even say I looked great. I mean, I looked like I was probably hungry, you know, like I'd starved myself basically in some way, shape or form to do these photos. And I did the photo shoot, I remember, on the 19th of December. And obviously then we went into Christmas. we went into Christmas, and obviously with my history, I then went on the worst binge you could ever imagine. So I ate everything because my body was so starving.
Craving it, yeah.
Yeah, like I remember somebody buying me a hamper of Reese's peanut butter stuff, and I ate the entire hamper in one go, and then made myself sick. And because I'd got that lean, and I knew that everybody knew I'd got that lean, and I was in a gym that had hundreds of thousands of thousands of members, in my head I was thinking, shit, I'm going to gain weight and people are going to judge me again. And I went through Christmas and I put on 2 stone in like 2 weeks. And then I went back to the gym and somebody had said about me putting on weight. And that was just as bad as the comment that had happened from this guy. And then I ended up really depressed then. And I had to go to the doctors who put me on fluoxetine at the time. I remember sitting in the doctor's surgery and him saying like, well, what's the matter? And I was like, and I told him all my history. They can obviously see that you've been to the eating disorder service clinics and stuff on your notes. And I remember him saying, well, what do you, I don't remember what we were talking about, but he said, what do you think of your legs? And I was like, they are disgustingly fat. And I remember being so angry at myself, like that my legs were huge. They weren't. Like, your legs can't be that huge from, you know, that. And he just looked like gobsmacked. I don't even think the doctor knew what to do. And he said, you need to go on fluoxetine and you need to get some counselling. So then I actually was in the industry that I wanted to be in, that like I'd obviously had such a passion for, but I was on antidepressants and I was like, God, I feel like a fraud. Like I've obviously tried to get to this point to inspire people, but is that even inspiring people? Because then look what's happened to me now. So I went from having my bulimia to then having binge eating disorder. And when I went into this binge eating phase, I wasn't purging as much. Because I think because I tried to recover from the purging, I kind of thought, well, no, you can't do that anymore. So then I was binging and then I was thinking, I'm just going to keep putting on weight.
Yeah.
And then I was kind of using exercise as my purge at that point. But I didn't want to do cardio, so I was just doing weights and I actually ended up getting quite muscly. And then I was on fluoxetine for quite a while, and then one of my friends asked me to go travelling, and I got quite scared because I thought, oh God, how am I going to like control this whole depressing episode? But then I was travelling and I was like happiest ever because like, you know, how can you not be?
Yeah.
So I took my dosage down when I was away anyway because I couldn't get it when I was abroad. And then I got offered a job in Dubai, and then I was really, really happy, moved to Dubai, and then it happened all over again. So I ended up binging when I was in Dubai because I was alone. And I think from my eating disorder previously, when I was alone, because I was lonely and I didn't know how to sit with my thoughts, I'd eat to make myself feel better, which I think a lot of people do that regardless if they've got an eating disorder or not. And because I was alone in Dubai, I'd just eat and eat and eat and then make myself sick again. And I thought, God, not again. And I lost my period again. So when I was ill, that's another thing. I lost my period for about 8 years, which is obviously a very unhealthy thing to happen. And I lost my period again when I was in Dubai for the whole time that I lived there. So I lived there for 18 months. I was actually really unhappy when I lived there, to be honest, because I was alone. It's a very lonely place to be if you don't have people around you. I think because there's so much going on and it's such a lifestyle that if you're alone, you don't really have that many friends. You like
or people to do it with.
Yeah, it's like really highlighted. Because I was just really there for work as well. And as a PT, you don't really have work friends because they're just other PTs. So yeah, and they were all. A lot of them were like from different countries, so you know there was like a barrier of like even just like sense of humor and stuff. So I didn't have like really close friends. But yeah, so then it happened all over again there. I actually remember crying to my manager when I was there, saying like I'm so ill, like I can't be here. And then I flew home to be a bridesmaid for my best friend. I went to the doctors again and said I need to be put on an antidepressant. So it was almost like I was trying to rely on these things to make me happy.
Yeah.
And he said, no, you don't. You just need to move home. Like, that was literally straight talking. You're not having them. You need to move home. And I thought, well, I don't want to move home. So I went back, and then we went into lockdown, and then I had no choice basically to move home, because we went into full lockdown in Dubai. Like, you couldn't leave the house. I didn't really love it, like, as I say. So I kind of used it as an excuse to move home anyway. So I moved home in June 20, was it 2020? We went into 2020.
I always get confused.
Yeah, is it 2019 or 2020? I think it's 2020.
2020, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, I turned 30 and then I moved
and
home.
then it carried on into 21, didn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, and then I moved home, and then I got back together with Dec, because we were together before I went travelling, only for a few months, and then I just gradually got better. He's really good for me, and yeah, I just got better from there. And then obviously started my PT again. I was at home surrounded by people that I love. I did have relapses for the first few years. Like, I think I still used. I mean, I'd be lying if I wouldn't say I still use food as a comfort now. Like, but I use it more of like a normal human being, you know. Like, a lot of us will sit there and comfort eat and not really think anything about it. Like, it's the thoughts that go with it, and it's like taken over your whole life kind of thing. Whereas it doesn't now. Yeah, so I had a few purging episodes, but then, yeah, all in all, I think eating disorders are addictions, and I have an addictive personality, and I've probably channeled the addiction into core. if I'm completely honest, I have to have like some sort of purpose and some sort of like drive, and control, and all of them different things that you have with addiction. And I've just channeled it in a different way, I guess.
In a healthier way.
Yeah, in a healthier way. Yeah. I mean, some people would not think being a workaholic is healthy, but yeah, in a healthier way.
Isn't it interesting, the correlation between mental health and coping mechanisms? So even with your story that you've shared here, struggling a little bit, feeling a little bit lonely in Dubai, and that was your go-to, and that is so common because it is an addiction, and I agree.
Yeah.
It's so common with somebody that may choose gambling, as you say, alcohol, drugs, life's going difficult, or I'm struggling, bang, that's what I go to. So we're adding in like a Q&A session for these podcasts, and since we're on the topic, I can remember that one of the questions is, do you ever feel old habits coming back?
Yeah.
So let's say, obviously, life seems to be going really good. We were chatting earlier about like you're going to get married and all of these sort of exciting things for you. How will you know if you can feel yourself start to slip again, or will you notice it?
Yeah, I notice it all the time.
Right.
Yeah, so if I get overwhelmed, I can feel like this. It's so hard to try and explain to someone what you feel, or like internal stress, or you don't know how to navigate things to do.
Yeah.
It's just an overwhelming feeling, and I'll turn to food. So like, for example, I've got a big massive to-do list, but then I'm being pulled from pillar to post with like calls or emails, or then I have to cover classes, and there's so many different things. I get this overwhelming like and I think that I need to eat, but more often than not I don't. I'll go for a walk, or we'll go and sit at work, or I'll do something to do with work, and to be honest, I try not to keep the food that I would turn to in the house, because it is a triggering thing to me.
So just on that, what would that be? So like is it more like chocolate?
It's more like it's like what a normal person would eat. Like if as soon as you eat something that's, you know, a high sugar, high fat, you want to eat more of it. Like I don't need to keep a piece of chicken in the house, like, because I'm not going to eat loads of chicken. But so like chocolate, sweets, crisp, not really crisp, to be fair, cakes, anything like that.
Right.
Yeah. So we're trying, but like for me, Christmas is a huge struggle, and I'd be lying to say that it's not. It's got easier as I've got older, but food to me still at that time is overwhelming to me. So having a lot of food in the house is like, you know, like Dec will say to me, just get rid of the food. I'm like, no, I'm fine.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that I've got it. And more often than not, I have, but it still is a triggering thing to me. So I think, like, to answer the question, I definitely do feel the habits come back, but they're not acted on anywhere near as much.
Mm-hmm.
And I think a lot of that is maturity and age. Like the more that you go through something, the time will help you, because you learn how you are, you learn your coping mechanisms, you feel the feels, and it's fine to feel the feels and just not act on them.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I think I've got to now.
And you've done it. I know that you've had like the help of sort of friends, family. Dec sounds like a great positive influence for you. With the professional help that you were offered, did any of it, you know, like this eating disorder clinic you mentioned?
No, I think that I remember having a counsellor at the eating disorder clinic, and they try and get into your past. And I think
Right.
a lot of counsellors, well, you can tell me, I
Yeah.
don't really know, but a lot of counsellors will try and get into your past and think, why have you ended up that way, and why have you acted on certain things. And I remember when I had my eating disorder, at the time, my mum had a partner and he committed suicide.
Right.
And they'd asked me all these questions and they'd said that. And I remember thinking, like, no, like, that is not
weren't
why,
that.
you know,
Yeah.
like, it's not that. And they were asking me more and more questions. I was thinking, no, that's not what it is. Like, I think you can just have an addictive personality, something can trigger you and you can just go on a downward spiral. Obviously, there's an element of your past, and things will happen to you, but I don't think that you need to dig into that counselling. I think I kind of really wanted coping mechanisms and I never got them because they couldn't find the why, so they weren't going to show me the how.
I think you've put it, you know, so brilliantly there. And it is true. With counselling and with therapy, I know a lot of people that think, no, I'm not going to counselling because I don't want to dig up the past. I want to move forwards.
Yeah.
And in my job and the therapy and the sessions that I've had with clients, and myself, because I've had counselling, you know, two or three different therapists. Sometimes it is needed, and sometimes it's there it is. But sometimes it isn't.
Yeah.
And even with what you've shared with me today, it could have been a little glimmer of that, you know, like the group of friends that you had in school, how you felt in school, and it could be a passing comment here, conversation that you had here 5 years later, what you are absorbed by, you know, social media. I know you didn't have it back then, but, you know, culture and stuff, it could be that.
Yeah.
But your journey is your journey.
Yeah.
And you wanted to know how to cope.
Yeah.
So sometimes digging everything up of what you've been through, sometimes it can help, but it's not always necessary. So I can agree with you on that one, because you've lived your life. You know how you feel. You know what you've been through. You want to get through it. You want to get over it. And by the sounds of things, Anna, you've done a bloody good job of it. But it's been a combination of things, your own determination, lifestyle. You know, Dubai wasn't great for you, although it sounded like you had a good time.
Yeah.
You found your way, cause come along, which you've made into a success. You're in a happy relationship. These are all things. These are your coping mechanisms now.
Yeah.
But you're still human.
Yeah.
So as we said, that question, do old habits come back? I really respect you for your honesty, because you are a human being.
Yeah.
And sometimes when you've had a coping mechanism for so long, it may, you know, oh, right, well, I'll just go and eat then.
Yeah.
But you sound like you've got more control over it now and you're more aware of it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's hard though, because as I said before, you have to eat. So I can understand people being alcoholics and gambling and stuff, but you kind of have to go to the bottle and drink, or you have to go and gamble. Whereas you obviously have to go and eat, but you have to eat.
Yeah.
So it's so hard to try and
just completely block it out.
Yeah, like really, really hard. And like Dec, I was saying to someone the other day, actually, like, Dec is so good in the fact, like, he's like, just eats, and when he's full, he just leaves the food, and then, like, just goes about his day, and it's just food. Like, if it's like chicken Kiev spaghetti and chips, which he likes to eat, which everyone finds hilarious.
Spaghetti hoops or spaghetti
Spaghetti
pasta?
hoops.
Oh, spaghetti hoops.
That would be fun.
Yeah.
Pasta and Kiev. Like that's just food, just as well as like chicken and rice is food with vegetables. Like he's like, it's just food, and to me that is mental. Like as funny as that sounds, like that's mental that it's just food, because to me it's like, do you enjoy it? Do you not enjoy it? Like, am I going to eat? Like, I need to be calm when I'm eating it. I need to sit down. I can't eat on a good. Like, I have so many thoughts around this food. Like, is it going to serve me exercising? Is it going to build my muscle?
And that's
is
still
gonna...
now. That's still. Like,
Yeah,
you're
I mean,
thinking...
probably not to the element of what it used to be,
Yeah.
but I don't just think of food as food still.
Mhm.
It's a lot, you know, like it's, is this the energy for my exercise? Is this going to replenish me after exercise? Which is probably a healthier way to think, of course. Because food is fuel now, as opposed to food is punishment, and food is a coping mechanism. It's fuel to me now. I just find it crazy that he thinks of it as food, because to me it's still, there's a purpose of it. It's not just food.
Mm-hmm. That can relate to people with addictions, other addictions as well. Even I've had my husband on the podcast, and he's open with he struggled with alcohol, and he says, you know, he could never just have a couple and then go home, and he doesn't understand. Even at Christmas, like I'll have maybe a couple of glasses of wine, still got a bottle of wine in the fridge, but I don't want the rest of it because then I'll have a hangover tomorrow and I don't want it. And he was like, I could never have done that.
Yeah.
And that sounds similar, but it's just a different element. It's food, alcohol.
Yeah. That's, and like for me, I can't leave food.
Right.
Even now. And I think when I got better, I did a lot of research into eating disorders and the thoughts around it. I think when you're a child, some of the things, so I'm probably taking about what I said about this when I said about your past. When you're a child, a lot of the things that your parents say to you or what they do around food impacts when you're getting to your teenage years into older. So like my mum and dad used to say to me, and everybody I think did, if you don't eat your food, you can't have XYZ. So like a chocolate bar, you can't go out, or you know, like you have to sit there and eat your food. And that, it can obviously be embedded into you or it can't, but to me that's still like, you have to eat your food or it's a waste.
Right. Okay.
So even now I need to eat all my food. I don't give myself massive amounts of food, so I have to eat it all, but even that, and even stuff like my mum didn't sit and eat with me and my brother at the table, so I don't think that food is a sitting down with your family kind of time, whereas it should be. Do you know, like it's just you eat whenever. Yeah, just little things like that.
It's really interesting. With the life in which you're living now, you have been able to turn pain into purpose, and you've come out of the other side. Yes, you're still human, and you may still get some urges, and coping mechanisms may think, oh, okay, I'll go back to that. But if people were listening to this and thinking, yeah, I can relate to that, just reiterate to me how fitness can help with some of these struggles that you faced and that some of the listeners might have faced.
Yeah, I think fitness to me proves to yourself that you can do hard things.
Okay.
So picking up weights and getting stronger, you're proving to yourself that you can get stronger. Obviously, there's an element of you look better when you do it, and who doesn't want to look good? Like I can't sit here and go, oh, I've had an eating disorder and it was nothing to do with the way I look, because it was, and even to now there is an element of that. But the way that you feel when you get stronger, and like going into daily tasks like lifting your own shopping bags, or you know, all these different things. And I think for me now as well, longevity of like being older and not being frail. Like you see so many older women and they've got spinal issues and stuff like that. I think exercise is like the best thing that you can do for yourself, because you're just proving yourself that you can do hard things. You're setting yourself up for life, basically. You meet some great people doing it. Like I've met some of the best people doing in the fitness industry. And it just gives you another purpose. Like it's gave me probably to an unhealthy degree another purpose, because my whole life is kind of turned into the gym and exercise and stuff. But it kind of just gives you another purpose other than work and being a partner and, you know,
Something for you, isn't it?
yeah. And it just makes you feel amazing. Like, I just don't know why you would not.
Well, I definitely noticed the difference. My husband did as well. Last year, obviously, I was going to have a baby, and I couldn't do it. I couldn't do what I was used to doing. So I love the gym classes. I've done my time going to and lifting the weights. I've had so many different PTs, but I found the classes was something that I actually stuck to, Anna. So I did Zumba and spin at my gym, and I really noticed the difference when I was pregnant, I was still going, and then I just didn't have the energy for it, and I just thought, oh, I'm pregnant, I don't need to do it. And oh my God, did I notice a difference in my mindset? I was so down. I was bored. You know, I'd go to work and I'd really miss that. So I can really relate to you. It makes me feel great. I did Zumba and spin last week. I am bouncing when I come back through that door because the endorphins are real.
Yeah. And I think that's a good thing that you've said there. Like, you went to a PT and it's not for you, but you found something that you enjoyed.
Yeah.
Like, everyone can go and do whatever they want in their movement, and they need to enjoy it. You know, like, not everything is for everyone. So lifting weights won't be for everyone. You know, doing high rocks isn't going to be for everyone. Pilates isn't going to be for everyone. But if you find something that you enjoy, that makes you a healthier person, like, do it.
Yeah.
Because as you say, like, you feel so much better after you've done it. Like, having a business now that I can see people walk in and they're tense and they're like, oh, I've had a bad day.
Let's drag myself here
Yeah, and then
today.
they leave and they go, oh my God, Anna, I love that. Like, to me, that is like the best feeling in the world. Like, someone going, I loved it, or they go out bouncing, you know, like, and you can tell that their weight has been lifted out of their day. Like, that is the best feeling in the world. Having a business that does that, it's just amazing.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. Right, we have some questions.
Oh.
So I'm just going to get our questions up now that our listeners real people have asked.
You didn't have to ask yourself.
Oh, no, yeah, I did think, am I going to have to leave it? Right, so we've asked one, you've answered one of them. Do you ever feel old habits coming back? Another one of our listeners has said, what was your initial motivation to make changes and grow? Now, I'm pretty sure that we've answered this, but was there anything else in terms of making changes and grow and that motivation, knowing that something needed to change?
Yeah, I think, well, the turning point was obviously that when I was at uni, that was for one. I think knowing that I was going to make nothing of my life if I let this consume me was a huge driver, because I thought, if I don't turn my life around, what am I going to end up as? You know, like, I could have potentially killed myself, which obviously is the worst. And I lost a few friends when I was ill as well. Luckily, my two best friends stayed around through the whole thing, but I lost a few friends because, as I say, I'd cancelled plans. I didn't want to be with anybody when it was around food, and I thought, I'm going to end up lonely. I was horrible to my mum, like really horrible to my mum at the time when I was ill. I used to lock her out the house if I was making myself sick. Like, I'd put the key in the door so she couldn't come in. And it was just, I couldn't live my life like that. Like, imagine if I lived my life in the years of how I was then, now, like, I could never imagine where I would be. Like, no way. I'd definitely not be where I am now, for sure.
Thank you for being so honest and vulnerable, Anna. So another question was, I struggle with going to the gym because I have zero confidence. Help. What would you say to somebody that said that?
Well, I think one, like, people that don't go to the gym think that when you go to the gym, people in the gym are looking at you. I can tell you now, they do not care.
No one cares.
Like, nobody looks at anyone. Like, they are looking at themselves, or, like, got their head down and bop into their own music, because I have never looked at anyone in the gym.
Yeah.
Like, sometimes I'll look at people and think, oh, I want to help them because they look like they're shy, you know, like, oh, they look afraid to be there. But no, the people in the gym, and I know this from 10 years of being in the gym, well, 15 years, are the nicest people you'll ever meet.
Yeah, they are.
The big boys, you know, that look scary, are the nicest people you'll ever meet. Them, they look like that, because they're big teddy bears. And
Yeah.
I can tell you that now. Like, I've been friends with a lot of them over the years, and they're the nicest guys ever. People will be intimidated of them. People will be intimidated by muscly women, but they're the nicest people ever. The more happy that you are with yourself, the nicer that you are to other people. And the people in the gym are the happiest with themselves. And I think being happy after exercise, being happy in yourself, being strong, like, you never judge anybody else. So being scared to go into the gym around those people, just, I would never be. Like, you would never be. I've never stepped foot. I mean, I can understand it, because I've gone to new gyms that I haven't been to before and had a little bit like, oh God, it's a gym phobia. But nobody looks at you.
No.
Like, they genuinely do not look at you.
Because they are literally just focused on what they're doing. And I
Yeah.
think I'm so pleased that you've said that.
Yeah.
Because it's really common. Oh God, no, I wouldn't step foot in the weights room.
Yeah.
I remember a couple of years ago, because of where I lived, I thought, oh, I'm going to join Apollo. So
Yeah.
for those that are listening that don't know about Apollo, it's got a stigma that it's a bodybuilding big lads gym. So I thought, oh God, what will it be like when everyone's so nice.
They are.
Everyone is lovely. And I'm really pleased that you've said no one's bothered. And if anything, people are friendly.
Yeah.
And they'll come over and they'll help.
Yeah.
I always see those videos on like TikTok or whatever of maybe a girl that's like deadlifting, or she's about to squat like loads of weights.
Yeah.
And you've got the big lads in the background that are like looking at her like, oh yeah, impressive.
Yeah.
Because people are kind, aren't they?
Yeah, they are
Okay.
really, really kind.
And then last question, how to tackle guilt when you've binged or had a bad day of eating?
I think you just have to draw a line under it. I think you just get up the next day, think, I'm just going to have lots of water, eat my normal 3 meals and not let it consume me, because I had so many times where I would binge the day before, wake up and be horrible. Like, it was almost like it was everybody else's fault that was around me, because I was so angry at myself that I'd then project it onto them. And it's not anybody else's fault. It's not your fault either, you know? Like, you've had a bad day, that's it. Draw a line under it. Tomorrow's another day. And you can't be angry at yourself either, because I think being angry at yourself is like the worst feeling. Like, being upset, yeah, but being angry, it just really consumes you, and you can't live like that. I think you just need to get up, draw a line under it. I think sometimes getting rid of the stuff that you think is a binge, the stuff that you're going to binge on out of the house is a good idea. But having food as well, and thinking all food is okay, and having a bit of food that you want, that you seem as bad food that you're going to binge on, is also okay. Because I think for me, when I was really ill, like chocolate sweets, they were all bad food. So if I would have even like a square of chocolate, I'd think, oh, fuck it, sorry, I'm going to have the whole bar.
Yeah.
Because it was bad food. And that's what would then lead to a binge. And now I can have a square of chocolate and think, I don't need that whole bar. But I think in your mind, you need to know that square or that little bit that you fancy is fine. You don't need to eat it all, because it's not bad. And you don't need to think, because this is what normally happens with binging. You have an all or nothing mentality, which then leads to it.
So it's like, oh, I've done that, I might as well just eat the whole thing, because I've messed it up for the day.
Yeah, and that was one of my biggest things. I used to be thinking, I can't have sweets. And a lot of the food when I had my eating disorder was just share bags. There was like, it was a lot cheaper than it is now. Like, there was share bags of everything then. And as soon as I opened one, I'd have to eat the bag. And then if there was another one, I'd have to eat that bag, because I'd gone into it then. But now you can just have a little bit of what you fancy after you've had your dinner, and that's
okay.
Yeah.
Amazing. Thank you so much. So that is all of our questions from our real life listeners. And I'm just so grateful to you, Anna, for being so vulnerable, because, yeah, this is your journey, but actually having the transparency, even on your own social media, because I've seen that you've spoken about this sort of stuff. I've wanted you on this podcast for ages. So I'm really grateful that you've come on and you've trusted me to share your story. I can't wait to see how Core just carries on. I would love to come to a class. Do you have a beginners?
Yeah, we have an intro class, yeah. Every Thursday, 7:45, Friday, 1:30, and Saturday, 11.
Okay.
You can come anytime.
I might make Susie come then, because she's a regular, isn't she?
Yeah.
But she won't be in the beginners class now, will she?
No, she wouldn't, but she would go in for you. I'm
Well,
sure.
I might make her.
Yeah. I'll come in next year. I'll get an instructor to do it, and we can
Oh.
enjoy it together.
Okay then.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Well, thank you so much,
That's okay.
and
Thank
I
you for
wish
having
you.
me.
I just wish you all the best of luck. Not that you need it for the future.
Thank you.